Hi, so in this video I read two books, The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. Pan and The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy. Gave this 3 stars, gave this 5 stars. This is a reread and I loved it back then and I appreciate it now. Okay, and this one has a good story. It's sort of like more on fantasy, magical realism sort of vibes, and this one is just contemporary fiction. Okay, what about these? Both of the characters here have experienced grief as a result of death of a loved one. So the girl, the main character here, her mother has committed suicide, and the sister of the main character here has died of a health problem. But it's like it's not a gradual disease, you know. Okay, anyway, so both tackle like what a teenager experiences during a period of grief and that kind of, you know, turmoil during a time when someone you love has left you. Okay, yeah, so that is all. Okay, so this is what I'm currently reading, The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. Pan, and I picked this up because I want a book to read about someone grieving over someone's death. Okay, I know I'm kind of weird sometimes. I'm looking for those kinds of themes in the book. So I have this one, and I've had this. This is actually in my mandatory 2024 TBR, so that's good, right? And it looks like a thick brick, because it is. But the pages, look at the margins, and look at the spacing. So it's not that bad, you know. And actually, just by reading a couple of, like maybe 2 hours of reading, I got to page 170, chapter 43. So here I am, 37% through. So far, what am I thinking about this book? I'm so sorry. It's not delivering. Here's why I'm not liking this. There's some kind of, like, I know it. I knew it going into this book that there would be some kind of magical realism / fantasy aspect. But it's not being delivered in a way that's making me feel like it's a good execution. Basically, the girl, her mother is committed suicide, and so she's dealing with that. I mean, she has seen some signs that perhaps her mother has been feeling this, like, kind of suffering. But also she's having questions in her head, such as, like, could there have been something that I was able to do? Like, could there have been something I could have done, so that my mother, like, would not do that? Like, so she's blaming herself, but also she's thinking about how, like, how can her mom leave her in that kind of state? So she's trying to understand that, and then at the same time she is discovering secrets from her past, which her mother was very adamant about keeping secret. But a bird, who she believes is her mother, came to her one day, brought her a box of things, and then it turns out to be the belongings of her maternal grandparents. And so eventually she went to Taiwan to visit them and get to know them, but since they're only speaking in Chinese, she's not that good at speaking Chinese yet, so there's that language barrier. Yeah, so, and I know that this is a YA book, but this girl, okay, she is so full of teenage angst, and I can't really get mad at that, because that is that is YA, you know. But she's getting pissed off. Okay, let me just say, she's getting pissed off at this one girl who is also living in Taiwan, who is like a close family friend of her maternal grandparents. And she's like pissed off. She's like, this girl, she makes me feel like I don't belong here, like that I'm not even related to my grandparents. Like, she knows more about my grandparents, and I feel like I don't belong. And like, girl, you don't belong, because this is the first time you've met them, remember? And yeah, so she's having these feelings, although she is also like, yeah, I understand that this is not even my actual culture, you know. I don't even speak the language that well, so there's that. And I don't know, I'm more interested in the parts where we are flashing back to to memories that aren't even hers, but she gets to see the memories by burning the incense sticks that she found in the box. So I'm more interested in that part, but with her struggles, like, I don't really care. I'm sorry, she's not interesting, the character's not interesting, but this could just be my preference. By the way, tab color check, I'm using the extras, which sort of match. So I think I'll be able to finish this soon, which I want to I don't want to DNF it, because I feel like there's something gonna happen that is really profound in the past Like this could not have been, this is a debut novel, okay, and a lot of people have said great things about this book, and maybe I should just need to be patient with it. Okay, so last night I finished The Astonishing Color of After, and I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I really wish there was more on her, the daughter's relationship with the mother, because there wasn't much of that. What there was a lot of was her griping with her father and how he cannot accept that the chosen path or career path is being an artist, a painter. So he thinks it's not practical and blah blah blah, you know, those typical, like, it is kind of annoying when your parent doesn't, you know, believe in you. And her mother, being the pianist that she is, she believes in her daughter, and the mother believes that she can do whatever she loves, you know. But yeah, at the same time, I really wanted more of their conversations or how they interacted with each other. I think that was pretty lacking. Obviously, there are talks of depression and, like, you know, being a suicide survivor in this book, and how you deal with that, how do you accept that. And also, I really love that I learned a lot about Taiwan. One thing that I didn't know is they can marry dead people. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say much about that because I think it's a spoiler for a part of it. But yeah, marrying the dead, that's so interesting. I think I've seen something like that online, like a man marrying a woman. Yeah, a dead woman. Something, and the dead woman was in the form of a doll. Yeah, and okay, there was also this interesting twist at the end, though I did kind of feel like that was coming, sort of, or could that just be my hindsight bias? But I really like that it added a little bit of more spice to the story. 50% onwards was when it got really good. That's when I warmed up to the characters. I really loved her relationship with her best friend, her guy best friend, who she is also in love with. Yeah, so it's cute, it's nice. One complaint I have is this. Okay, the reason why it's The Astonishing Color of After, because, like, she's a painter, right? So each time she has a feeling, it comes out in her, or like she sees a color. That's how she expresses it. Like, so when she's angry or when she's happy, her best friend would actually ask her, like, what color are you feeling right now? So that's right. I mean, that's how she talks about her emotions, right? And then there were just some points where it was like talking about cadmium orange, and there's this weird other, like, words that I'm not, like, I'm sure it's a particular color, but if I read ultramarine one more time, you know, that is that feeling. Like, I think that it came across a little bit too pretentious in that way, like, or I don't know if I was an artist, would I have appreciated that more. But some of the colors were really, like, I have never even read that name before. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, so anyway, that is it for this book. I'm gonna look for another grief book probably. Okay. Thank you. Okay, this is the book that I'm currently reading. It's called The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy. And this is actually a book that I've read years ago, back when I was in first year high school, I think, or grade 6. And I loved it back then. I gave it 5 stars. Now that I'm older, the voice is definitely not what I'm really interested in anymore, but I can say that this writing and this voice is better than the one in Astonishing Color of After. Of course, this is not like magical realism or fantasy in any way, but I just, the way that it's written is so not pretentious. I guess that's it. Although there are poems here scattered across the pages, and they're, like, you know, in pretend pieces of paper, or sometimes on the wall or a tree bark, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, and the poems are kind of dramatic, but some of them, like, really hit. So I really like that. And I got this, by the way, secondhand. This was originally sold in fully booked for 360 pesos. Like, can you imagine back then paperbacks cost this much? Anyway, I got it for like 100, thrifted. So, but it is foxing a bit. And there it is. So I am 50% through. This character, she is a clarinet player, so as opposed to the painter from the previous book. And so her sister died, and the main premise is, so she's grieving her sister's death, but also dealing with the fact that she kissed her dead sister's boyfriend, and then they continued on doing this. Like, it's a very weird way to cope with the grief. And also, there's another boy, and this boy actually likes her, and she likes him back as well. But then there's just this weird thing, like the boy is starting to think like, what is going on with you and your dead sister's boyfriend, like something like that. So it's kind of juicy. Anyway, yes. So right now, where am I at? I think like the third act breakup has not occurred yet. And I really do enjoy, though, that this main character is talking about her relationship and recounting her relationship with her sister, specifically the context of how she feels now that she has been left behind. Like, sometimes she feels guilty for being happy, and sometimes when she is happy, she kind of wants to have her sister be with her because she wants to share the moment with her sister. So there's those things that I was kind of looking for in The Astonishing Color of After. Or maybe it's different because in the previous book, in Astonishing Color, the mother was depressed. So technically she wasn't really like relating much with her yeah, maybe because the mother in Astonishing Color was depressed, so the feelings of the main character is more on her like blaming herself for not seeing the clues, but also for like, I don't know, there's really, yeah, maybe that's the difference, because the sister here died due to a health issue which they were not privy to. So it was like arrhythmia, so something wrong with her heartbeat, either beat too fast or too slow, we don't know. So there's that, and she keeps on staying in the room where, like, her sister's room, as opposed again to Astonishing Color of After, where the main character is avoiding the room of her mother because that is where she took her life. Yeah, so I guess that's the difference. But I would have wanted this kind of perspective, like reflecting more on the relationship with the person, you know, despite the circumstances. I don't know, or maybe that's the point. Those are the differences. So anyway, I'm going to probably finish this later today. It's an easy read because it's a YA book and it's so short. Yes, so that is all. Okay, so last night I finished The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson, and I gave it 5 stars. So this is very timeless then, in my case, because back then I highly related to it. So I'm guessing that's why I gave it 5 stars. But also, I'm giving it 5 stars now because it took me back to that time when I was in high school, and I'm like feeling these feelings of teenage angst, but not to the point of it being so annoying. I would say the character here is less annoying. You know, all teenagers are annoying, okay? This character is less annoying than the one in The Astonishing Color of After. I like where the story went here as well. There was a part here where my heart, you know, I'm sure you've felt this before, like feeling that tinge in your heart, like a heartstring get. Is that where they got the term pulling on your heartstrings? Yeah, there was like a physical ache in my heart when I read that one part here. And also I love the jealousy, misunderstanding with the love interest. Yeah. And also the discussions on grief, and then like glorifying their mother who ran away because she's so adventurous, but then also realizing towards the end, our main character, she said that, hey, maybe she shouldn't have left us in the first place, you know. And then having deeper appreciation for her grandmother and her uncle who were there to raise them. Yeah. And, you know, having to say, like, there are a lot of good quotes in here. Like, I'm gonna highlight them. I'm gonna go back and highlight them. Yeah, this book is so good. Very, very good. Highly recommend. I really love the discussions on grief as well. Her relationship with her sister. Like, one of my biggest fears is like someone dies and then I don't have a good interaction with them. Like, the last interaction we had is bad. And that's what happened to her and her sister. She was sleeping, and then her sister asked her, hey, what should I wear, the blue shirt or this green shirt? And then Lenny said, the blue one. And then the sister was like, hey, you didn't even look. Yeah, wear the green one. I don't care what you wear. And then those were the last words that she told her sister. And that's why there's that added like guilt when she was, you know, processing her feelings about her sister, for her sister. Yeah. Okay, and I really love how, you know, like I mentioned, there were these poems that are sort of written. It's a cool mixed media type of thing in this book. And then towards the end of the book, you would know like why there were those kinds of bits and pieces of paper with poems in them. I forgot, like I totally forgot about that. And or maybe because I read it in a digital version, that's why I didn't have this. Okay, so anyway, loved it. I remember reading Jellicoe Road, or like reading like two chapters in. I didn't like it, but maybe I should give it another try because Jandy Nelson, her humor is also not that obvious, but it's so funny. It's funny, but you know, like I said, my humor threshold is pretty low. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye.